Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back after that short break, Sangat. I hope you had a nice short break there and had a cup of tea, chai cup with a biscuit. So now, the second half, we have another inspirational and very artistic guest with us. So the first half we had Jagjit Singh, the runner, who I was saying hopefully might be the next Purja Singh. We now have Rajinder Parsad Singh Tattal, the Pen-Tacular-Artist, that's here with us. He was on Sikh channel probably, I think maybe over a year ago as well. Most of you will know who he is, and if you don't, let's go over and introduce him, and you'll definitely know. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
My mum's going to be very happy.
Because I said that exactly, yeah.
Name, yeah, so that's one of the requirements that she requires, otherwise she's not going to be happy with the whole interview. So
oh no, she will be. Aunty Ji, I hope you were happy, and I hope I pronounced it correctly. And again, I just want to say to Aunty Ji, we wanted to have you here on the interview, so hopefully, Raj, I'm going to be saying it to you now in front of all the viewers.
Mum, she can get... so I hope she can come one time. One day it will happen.
Exactly.
You've seen the little short film, so you know what she's like.
Yeah.
Now, so which is good.
But Raj, tell us, so since the last time you came on, what have you been up to recently? And in terms of, I heard you exhibited in Birmingham and with the Indian consulate, and you went to LA, so lots going on. Tell us a little bit about
that. The LA's first, I worked with the Sikh Lens Festival, and they've kind of been my kind of mentors. They flew me out in 2017 for free, and then they flew me out again, the year before that, and in 2017. And the reason I went down, I had a short film made about me, and it's been shown at film festivals, so we can't have it on YouTube or anywhere until probably 2018 or 19.
Yes.
And it was just about, you've seen the little short film,
it's
15 minutes, and it just shows my kind of reconnection to Sikhi through my artwork, reconnection to my faith, reconnection to my community, and just generally about my kind of battles with depression and how I've kind of managed to push through that. Through my artwork, and so it's an interesting short film.
And you know what, Raj, can I just say, from that short film, I never knew that you had autism or you went through depression, because I never knew that, and actually that was so interesting having that documentary about yourself, because there's probably a lot of viewers out there that know you and would want to know your history. Tell me about that, because you I wouldn't think that you've been through that.
The thing is, people see me now and they think I'm quite extrovert, but I am an introvert, and the younger I go, the more introverted I was. I was one of those weird kids that you see at the Gurdwara, and they were like, oh, what's wrong with him? So I didn't get diagnosed until I was 37, and I went through a lot of problems with depression, not really understanding why I had issues with, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not a people person. I prefer to stay by myself, which is good for art. And so once I got the diagnosis, it was like a eureka moment for me that, there's a big stigma with autism in our community, or any kind of things that are taboo, and there's nothing wrong with autism. It's just a different way of thinking. I say it's the right way of thinking, but some people don't like it, so I'm very straightforward with
you
people.
are, which is good.
And so right now I don't really think I'm far down in the autistic spectrum, because a lot of the problems I had I've managed to kind of contain and be able to kind of battle that. Like traveling to LA would have been impossible
before.
Because I used to always stay with my own little bubble in my area.
Right.
And so I used to find travelling almost impossible. I remember saying to my nephew, this was 6 years ago, I said, if I can go, for me to go abroad is like you to go to the moon.
Yes.
It was that, but now I'm going LA by myself, so.
Yeah, and Raj, I just want to touch on that a little bit, because it's really important. Sadi Jari community Hagia, there may be people that may be going through some mental health or depression, right? You've come through it.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Was it your artwork then that helped you through it? What would you say really was that turning point for you?
I think one of the biggest things is just to accept the way you are.
Right.
And unfortunately our community can be very, let's say, judgmental. And if you don't conform to a certain norm, you'll be made to feel like you're ostracized. And so I had a problem connecting with people from my community. I love the Sikh community, but I've never really been what I call kind of connected until now.
Yes.
And so that was one thing, just accept the way you are. Also to stop hanging around with people that are going to bring you down. I know it sounds quite cruel, but I don't really hang around with no one.
Yeah.
And I prefer my own company. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm like a lone wolf, and before I used to try to conform to people's norms. Now what I do is, if I don't want to talk to no one, I just don't.
Yeah.
And I stay by myself and I draw, and I'm happy. So it may sound sad, but to me, I'm having a great time.
But you know what? It doesn't sound sad, because sometimes your own company is the best company. Because actually you haven't got that worry of somebody saying something that's going to annoy you. So I think being in your own company and enjoying it is the best thing.
But a lot of people do find that strange. They can't understand the concept of being by yourself. They think you have to have someone with you. I always call them the sheep, and I'm kind of like the lone wolf. So I don't really need that kind of companionship that other people probably.
But
crave.
you've got somebody with you all the time. You've got Vaiguru with you.
Oh, of
so
course,
there you go.
yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely. And I got my mum as well.
Yeah,
so
there you go,
that's all I
exactly.
really need,
And Aunty
man.
G's amazing in
Yeah,
that
my mum's
documentary.
like the person that, as long as she's there, I can talk to her, then I'm fine. Everybody else can just go away.
No, it's
I'll be
amazing.
alright.
So talk to me about your latest drawing of Guru Gobind Singh Ji.
Yeah. Well, this is one that I did a few months ago, but I'm not sure if I've shown it. It's part of a 2 or 3 pieces that I've done to commemorate the 350th anniversary. That was from last year, but it was still ongoing. And this one was basically, I wanted to show Guru Gobind Singh Ji kind of like in combat mode, which I haven't really done. Most of them are either with his children or he's looking quite pious. And you can see in the background, that's actually a Nandpur Sahib. I know it's not historically accurate because it probably didn't look like that, but I put it in the background, and you got the Char Sahibs are there, and Mata Gujari and his wife and everyone in the background. And I wanted to make it quite friendly and nice. And my mum's like really pushed me to the limit on this one. This is actually in the documentary, and it shows me drawing it. So the film crew came down for 4 days, and they filmed me over that 4 days, so you can see the process of this. You can see all these little rabbits and stuff and squirrels. That's not my idea, that was my mum's. So she was like, look, I want a rabbit in there, I want this, so I'll put it in there. So.
Amazing. So Aunty G gives you ideas of what she thinks, because I saw that in the documentary. You always get Aunty to check if there's anything that's missing. Or
the Sikhi artwork, my mainstream artwork I do completely alone. But when it comes to the Sikhi artwork, it's 100% a collaboration, and which is why I'm so grateful for the filmmakers to come down and actually get that on camera, because it's not being shown, and she hasn't come to the Sikh channel. So even the concept, she tells me what to draw, and I draw it. Amazing. And then I show her the concept, and she tells me. I mean, she goes to such depths that even like nows and any little minute thing, she'll tell me to tweak it if she's not happy with it.
And Raj, did you say this took you 4 days?
No. This actually this actually took me around 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks to do. Okay, but back to back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I started drawing and finished. It took around 220 hours. And
amazing.
So,
and this is the thing, right? I look at it and I think, and I know we're going to talk about it later on in a bit more detail, but I just looking at the paintings that you have done. How does the idea come? Where do you start?
I'll be honest, I've got a good imagination. As soon as someone tells me something, I think it's a gift from Waiguru. I didn't draw for 12 years, and then I was like, all right, let me just do what I'm good at. If someone tells me, oh, we want to draw Guru Gobind Singh Ji with a bow and arrow, I have this vision in my head, and I just put it onto paper. So I'm lucky in that sense. I don't have to copy other people's drawings. I always do my own original ones.
Yeah. And then talking a little bit more about your drawings, the Mata Sahib Kaur drawing. Why did you do that?
So this one's not actually finished.
Okay.
I think it's good to show people unfinished drawings.
Yes, definitely.
Because it shows you kind of like how it's going to progress. My mum's been asking me to do it for like a year.
Okay.
And it was just so happens to be that there's an exhibition going up in Birmingham.
Yes.
And with Art Sikh, and they also wanted a Mata Sahib Kaur. So I thought, let me kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I started it. The story for this is actually kind of match that one, because that's a Nandpur Sahib and Guru Gobind Singh Ji's there. This is the Sangat going to a Nandpur Sahib, and that's Mata Sahib Kaur, which is Guru Gobind Singh's wife. And so I wanted to make it a lot more happier, a bit more jovial. And so you can see there's all these little things I think this is one of the most complicated drawings, in the sense that I've got 30 people in there. From babies to people to kids, and there's actually 11 animals. Right now it looks flat because I haven't finished it. Even this section here is completely undone. What I would do is if you look at the face, it's like just white, and then what I do is I just shade it in, and I'll start creating depth and kind of realism to it afterwards.
Because I was saying, me looking at it, if you just had that just then, you hadn't said, I would think that it's finished.
Oh no, it's around 70% done.
70% done. Yeah. So now you will have this. When do you think this will be ready?
This is going to be ready within the week, hopefully this week, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of put it online soon. Okay. So this is a drawing that I think's my first kind of real kind of like family oriented drawing, because some of the rest of them quite sad stories or dream battle and stuff.
Yeah, this is nice. So now going on to the next topic, which obviously I know we're not going to go into too much detail on. You did a drawing on grooming. If you want to show us that one,
so
you want to talk to us about why you did that.
Yeah, so this one, I apologise if it's a little bit shiny because I had to spray it last night. I tweaked it slightly. And this one is actually a drawing that I wanted to encapsulate the problem of grooming in the Sikh community. It's been happening since the 80s. We know who the perpetrators are. I don't want to go into that. And I was always felt quite helpless about what can I do. And Sikh Youth had done a lecture.
Yes.
And Dippa, who's part of Sikh Youth, was talking through the lecture, and I was listening. I was really touched. And then at the end it said, look, if anyone wants to, whatever you can do, whether it's music, art, and no one had ever said that before.
Yeah.
In sense of trying to portray the message. So I got in contact with Sikh Youth UK. I said, look, I want to do a drawing that encapsulates the struggle of a female, a young girl, and how she's kind of combated the groomers and defeated them and beaten them. So this is symbolic. The hands are symbolic, and obviously we won't go into that, but that's the groomers.
Yeah.
That side is a Sikh Sangat
Yeah.
who is actually helping her. And if you, in fact, the drawing is two. If I split it in half, it's actually two separate drawings. So here she's being subjugated and she's weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she can't control. And then on this side,
her hand.
she's actually in control of the groomer,
Yeah.
and she's empowered, not just through herself, but you can see also the face that she's smiling. So I thought that, rather than doing a drawing that's kind of just a basic drawing, I wanted something a bit more kind of symbolic, so it's not realistic in the sense that obviously people don't transform like that. And one thing I do want to say, I don't want to portray the message that the dastard is the only way to go.
Yeah.
The reason I put the dastard on, which was so that it was the easiest way for me to portray a Sikh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the reason why I put the dastard on.
But you know what? That is so touching in terms of just the tears. They see the tears coming out and just the detail of it. How long did this take them to do?
Concept-wise, ages. This is the longest I've spent on a concept. I think I spent 10 hours just concepting, because the message had to really needed to resonate, and I didn't want it to be cliched.
Yeah.
And so I went through loads of different concepts, like ideas, until I touched upon this one. Then I was like, all right, eureka, I've got it. And I'm happy with the way it's turned out. Sikh Youth is going to use it on their front cover for their magazine this year. So I'm really honoured. Thank you, Sikh Youth UK, because originally they had a different cover. So that's on there.
That's good.
Right now. So I hope this gives inspiration to any girls or anyone that's out there that, these people that are trying to subjugate you, there is the Sikh community, there is Sikh Youth UK, there is the SAS, and they can pull through it if they ask for help.
No, that's brilliant. No, thank you for sharing that. And then tell me a little bit about bit more about in terms of your artwork and the response that you get from people. Talk to us a little bit about that for a short while in terms of, because you do a variety. So you've got the Sikhi aspect, you've got the grooming one, and we're going to be talking about another one shortly as well. But you've got a variety. What is the response from people? In terms of, it could be the viewers who have purchased something. What do they say? Generally, anyone?
Because I do an eclectic mix. I don't just do Sikhi. I do portraits of people as well, like family members. I think one of the best things for me to do is to do portraits of people that have passed away, and so I always get a great response with people when I've done their parents or I've done their grandparents, and they say you really captured their kind of emotion. So that's really rewarding. Started pets as well now. I just did an exhibition with the Autism Foundation. And I showed my work there, and it's really great to see young autistic kids who love to draw, and they're really fascinated with my artwork, because some of the drawing is about autism, about depression. They're going to be using one of my drawings called Big Boys Do Cry, and it's about depression and how you shouldn't have it stigmatized that men cannot show emotion. The highest kind of like rates for like people taking their own lives is actually young men between the age of 16 and 24. So I did a drawing of a guy that's quite rugged and looks quite masculine, but he's got tears running down his face. And I think one of the Sikh organisations is going to be using that. I'll update that afterwards. So, I've got a wide variety. And most people, when they see my work, they normally ask, how is it done? And then they ask, is it a copy? And when I say it's the real one, like original, then they go, oh wow, I can't believe it. So I kind of have become numb to the response, if I'm not being honest with you. And so a lot of times I hear the same thing over and over again, but I always appreciate when people say it. But the most kind of rewarding is always the Sikhi artwork. Because, whenever I've done a new piece, for me, that's a journey on my kind of way towards Sikhi as well. Because I learned something. I mean, this is actually a little magazine at the Indian consulate. use, and when I was in Birmingham, so they used quite a few of my drawings.
Okay.
You can see
You can
Jajar
see- yeah,
Singh,
they've got
Ajit
the-
Singh,
yeah.
Bike and Air Singh. So they use around 5 or 6. The other one Fateh
Oh,
Singh.
amazing.
So I
Oh,
went
that's
to
so
Birmingham. So
cute.
this has been to commemorate Guru Gobind Singh Ji's 350th.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of an honour to
To be.
for people to think.
to
And I just want to say to the Sangha, I don't do this. The Sikh artwork, if anyone wants to use it and it's for a good cause, I don't charge people.
Yeah.
I've had people use them on books. For me, this is my way of doing seva. I don't do it in a normal way.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm not the most social person, so I do it in this way.
Yeah, but Raj, you're saying I don't do it in a normal way. To me, this is normal. You actually are doing seva. You're doing something where, a lot of people, I'm not saying that we should go by drawings or paintings, but sometimes a painting or art, it shares a story, right? Because you're visualizing it.
Yeah.
You're doing that through the seva that you're doing. So that's amazing in itself.
Yeah.
And now I want to talk a little bit about the documentary
All
and the
right.
space drawing.
Bit funny now, actually. So the thing is that I'm a little bit odd in a way, in a lot of ways. And one of the things I'm pretty odd about
Look at
is
this.
it's a drawing I've done. I still haven't. It's Dreams Can Come True. That's what I've titled it. And in the short film that I've done, the end of the short film talks about my fascination with space.
Okay.
My mum's always been fascinated by space, and she's always looking her binoculars up. And she wants to go on the space station and all this kind of stuff and do experiments. And so I caught that bug as well. And there's been a lot of advancements now with Elon Musk and SpaceX, where they're sending up rockets and they want to send someone to Mars.
Yeah.
And I said at the end of the film that I would love to go Mars by myself on a one-way trip, and when I go there, as long as I've got my pencils and pens, I'd be happy.
Your beans.
And my beans. So one of the things in the short film is, it was quite humorous. They concentrated on one of my weird quirks, which is that I've eaten baked beans for like 24 years every day. I eat it with other stuff, not by kullah by itself. It is with other stuff. So if it's sabji, I'll eat it with a sabji. And so they concentrated on that in the film for like a minute, which was quite strange when I saw it in the big screen.
Yeah.
Because when I went LA, they put it on the big screen and everyone was laughing at that scene. And so the two scenes everyone found very funny was the space scene and the bean scene.
Yeah.
And so I thought, all right, how can I encapsulate both? And so here in the corner, I didn't want to do it too obvious. You got the tent and the beans, and the beans are going up through a tube into my space helmet. And actually, one of the things is, if you look at the spaceship, it's actually called Sher Punjab.
Oh yeah, you got to see
it's got a khanda there as well. Actually,
Yeah, you can see it.
This drawing is one of my
It's
this drawing
proper
is one of my most kind of like fun drawings.
Yeah.
Although it's so difficult, as you know.
Yeah.
I met you at RBS. Royal Bank of Scotland. I did an exhibition, and you do Mendi.
Yes.
Oh my god! And a lot of people ask me, "Oh, how do I draw?"
Yeah, how do you?
Watch someone who does Mendi.
Yeah.
And that's how I draw. It's when I saw you from a distance, I was like, it's exactly the way I do it, because I'm just bent over, doing intricate design. And the thing is, I think things like Mendi and stuff like what you do, we're both artists, and I didn't really realize that about yourself. And it's just a different form of art, but they're both very intricate.
True.
And you need extreme concentration to be able to do it.
And you're right, and I think actually now that you've mentioned it, I never looked at Mendi as art. I mean, it is art, but not to the extent of, I'd never put it, because I look at this and I think, wow, how did you create this?
Well, I'll say this to you, the reason why people don't see Mendi as art or tattoos as art is because people walk around with them.
True.
Now, if I was to if you put your design onto a piece of paper and put it onto a canvas, onto a wall, someone would buy it.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's just it's in our community as well. There's a big problem about people not understanding or really kind of appreciating art in itself. I've always said that one of the problems is that in the West, some of the greatest minds have been artists.
Yeah.
When you think of Leonardo da Vinci, he's an artist.
Yeah, true.
Michelangelo, all of the Van Gogh. But think about any of the artists from India.
Yeah.
Amazing artwork everywhere, but no one knows who done it except for a handful of people. So with the Mendi, hopefully we can do something in the future.
A collaboration,
we'll
a
do
Raj and
collaboration.
Min
I've got some good
collaboration.
designs that you can put your Mendi on.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe you could teach me, and I can teach you.
You know what? I'd love to learn. I think this is just amazing. Looking at the variety and each and every one of your paintings. Actually, can I just say? You know, you were saying, "Oh, I think I might have showed the Guru Gobind Singh Ji one before." It looks like I've seen it for the first time.
Yeah, I think I showed you another one last time, but I always
they
get mixed
never
up.
look like they're old. They honestly
thanks,
don't. They
I
look like they're
appreciate
just. But this is amazing, and I love the fact
It's
that
my
you put
most.
the beans in.
It was the most difficult one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say why. It was just so time consuming. But
Was
it's
it because of the beans?
Yeah,
You wanted to get them perfect.
It kind of it made me hungry all the time, so I kept on running downstairs eating. No, but it was just the fact that I wanted it to look fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not the most fun person, so I just wanted to keep that kind of energy to it, and I think I've managed to do it at the end.
So we've got about 5 minutes left, and obviously I've got a few other questions as well. I just wanted to know really in terms of people that are watching now. Like you said about art, you know, and it can be a variety. We've got many artists that are out there, but for somebody that, you know, might want to go into art, or maybe is doing a little bit of artwork, but they don't have that confidence in them. What would you like to say to people out there to encourage them that if you've got even the slightest bit of passion in art, it doesn't have to be to the extent of they're drawing straight away. How can we encourage our DJ community?
Well, I've didn't draw for 12 years, as I worked in different fields. I got a degree in a different field. I think, you know, with art, I went back to it because it's therapeutic for me. Also, because it's what I'm good at. And I think I meet so many people over when I'm exhibiting, and they say, "Oh, I used to draw," and they show me a little drawing, and I'm like, "Wow, you're really amazing." And even my sister now has started painting again, and she's really amazing. Good. And she didn't paint for a long time. So I always say to people, when it comes to art, it's never too late. Now, obviously, if you draw stickmen, you're probably I can't really do anything with you. But if you're relatively okay at artwork, I mean, I'd love to teach people. I teach kids.
Yes.
They're good to tell off, so I enjoy teaching kids. But I would like to do some adult classes at some point. If a gurudwara or anyone wants to kind of do that, I don't charge. For me, it's something that I enjoy doing. And
we will give your contact details for that, for that request. But before we go on to that, I just want to ask another quick question as well. You know, future projects. So, you know, just in terms of where you're going to be exhibiting at, because we've obviously got the Smargam later this year at Ricelip.
I'll be there for the full 3 days.
Yeah, so tell us upcoming now where people can come if they want.
I've got one thing I can't really talk about, which is a very big project, which I'm still waiting upon. I can't really disclose anything.
No problem.
I'm also doing a few other things to raise awareness about depression. I'm going to be doing a few more artworks, and then obviously we've got the Smargam coming up, which is for 3 days, and then I think I'll probably be going out to the States again in the future. I think in November again. So I've got quite a few things kind of lined up. It's just a matter of me kind of just pushing myself and just getting better and just making better artwork all the time. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy.
So before we finish, I've got a little gift on behalf of myself, Sikh channel, and Ajit.
I always get very embarrassed when there's gifts.
It's a tin of Heinz beans.
Ta-da! Look at this.
I didn't tell you. I do magic as well. That just was literally, don't know where that came from.
Amazing, man. You know, I was actually like, oh, that would never give. Now I'm like, oh, thank God.
Exactly, there you go. I wanted to get you a multi-pack, right?
It's hard for me to feign falseness. So if I don't like something, sometimes I'm just like, oh, right. So when I saw the beans, I was like, yes, this is a great gift. There you go, exactly. Oh, thank you very much.
You know what we were going to do, actually, what I would have liked to have done is beans on toast and had that brought out for you, but my mum's not here. She could have come and brought them out for you, but that's a little gift for you.
Hopefully we can get the short film kind of shown in the future. It's only 15 minutes, but it has to be exclusively for film festivals at the moment. And so my face is going to be on the big screen around the world, I think.
Amazing. But before we end, I'd just like to know really in terms of your contact details, where the viewers can go if they want more information, anything that you're on social media, website, if you could give that to the
so
viewers.
on Facebook I go by Raj Singh Tattal. Obviously I should put my full name, but
Rajinder
I have to do something that's quite punchy. Also Pen-Tacular-Artist on Instagram. I do portraits, family portraits, kids, pets, the whole thing. I don't really commission Sikh artwork because that artwork is personal to me. So you know, I do get requests for that, but I've refused all of them. So that's about it, really. I mean, I'm not really on any of the other social medias yet, but I've been told to go on this, so I might go onto Twitter soon.
So watch your space.
Watch your space. Space. Yeah, you're right.
So hopefully, Raj, we'll get you on in the future, and we'll have a full beans on toast breakfast ready for you. And
then we'll do a bit of Mendi.
Yeah, we'll do it, and we'll do a collaboration.
I'll get my charcoal and pencils down, and then you can really see how similar it is. So you are an artist as well. We just need to make sure. Hopefully, you can go to Prakash Smargam. And
exactly, and do a bit there, exhibit there. But thanks, Raj. I hope to have you on again in the future. And Aunty Ji, please make sure that you come on next time with Raj.
Mum.
Please make sure you do, and we look forward to having your documentary. So Sangaji, please mark the fact that time goes by so quickly. Join us next week. We'll have another set of inspirational guests. Stay in Chantikala and have a good week ahead. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.